All right, let's dive in. Today, we're not just talking about data. We're talking about defending a kingdom. We're going to figure out how we protect our most valuable digital stuff from what feels like a constant siege. So let's get started.
Before we even start building our defenses, I want you to think about this for a second. In this age of, digital empires and global networks, what's the one treasure that's more precious than anything else? What are these empires built on, and what do attackers want more than anything? The answer? It's data. Yeah. Your personal information, financial records, company secrets, this is the new gold. Every time you click, every time you buy something, every message you send, it all creates a little piece of this treasure. And for any modern business, protecting it is, well, it's everything. Okay, to make this all feel a bit more real, let's invent our own digital kingdom. A huge, bustling online retailer we'll call Gigamart Inc. Now, the crown jewels of Gigamart aren't actual gems. They're its customer data, its financial records, and maybe, most importantly, its reputation. These are the things we have to protect no matter what.
So how in the world do we protect these jewels? Well, that's where information systems security comes in. And honestly, the best way to think about this is like you're building a fortress. The policies, those are the laws of your kingdom. The procedures, that's how you train your guards. And the technical measures, well, those are the high walls, the deep moats, and the heavy iron gates. It's the whole defense plan for Gigamart.
And believe me, these fortress walls are not just for show. For an online business like Gigamart, strong security is the foundation of pretty much everything. It builds trust, right? People won't shop where they feel their data isn't safe. It protects the company's money. It makes sure the website actually stays online to do business. And it keeps Gigamart out of a ton of legal trouble. And at the end of the day, it protects the company's good name.
Because without that protection, this is what happens. A single breach, just one, can completely shatter a reputation that took years to build. This headline, it's not just bad press. It's a total catastrophe that can lead to financial ruin and, yeah, the collapse of the entire kingdom. The stakes are just incredibly high.
So every kingdom is under threat. And the digital world is absolutely no different. The very moment Gigamart went online, boom, the siege began. So to defend our kingdom, first we have to understand the enemy and the weaknesses they're looking to exploit.
First, let's define what a threat actually is. A threat is really any potential danger that could harm our information system. It's the who or the what that's trying to get inside.
In our fortress analogy, the threat is simple. It's the hostile army camped just outside our castle walls. They're the external force, and they are actively trying to breach our defenses.
But how does that army get in? Well, they look for a vulnerability. A vulnerability isn't the attacker itself. It's the weakness, the flaw in our defenses that an attacker can use against us.
Think of a vulnerability as that forgotten unlocked door, or a crumbling section of the wall, or maybe even the guard who fell asleep on their watch. It's the internal weakness that makes an external threat so dangerous.
This makes the difference crystal clear. A threat is the external attacker. The vulnerability is the internal weakness. Here's the thing. You can't really eliminate threats. There's always going to be another army at the gates. But what you can do is find and fix your vulnerabilities. You can patch the cracks in your walls.
So what do these armies look like? Well, you've got malware. That's malicious software, kind of like digital spies sent to cause trouble from within. Hacking is a direct assault, a skilled force trying to literally break down the door. Phishing is all about deception. It's a trickster, pretending to be a friend to get you to lower the drawbridge. A denial of service attack is just a brute force siege, overwhelming the gates so nobody can get in or out. And an insider threat? Oof, that's the most painful one. A traitor from inside your own walls.
And what about those cracks in our walls? Well, weak passwords are the most common. That's like leaving the key under the doormat with a sign that says, "Key here." Using outdated software is like using an old rusty lock that everybody knows how to pick. Poor network configuration, that's like the master architect just forgetting to secure a side door. And then, of course, there's simple human error, the loyal guard who gets tricked by a phishing scam and accidentally opens the main gate for the enemy.
All right, we understand the enemy, and we know our weaknesses. But it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. Now it's time to fortify our kingdom. Let's talk about the safeguards we can use to mount a really powerful defense.
See, for every problem, there's a safeguard. To stop hacking and malware, we use firewalls and antivirus software. A firewall is like the ultimate gatekeeper, checking everyone and everything trying to get in or out. Antivirus programs are like the guards constantly patrolling inside, looking for any spies that snuck past. To stop phishing scams, we use authentication. It's the secret handshake that proves you are who you say you are. To handle insider threats, we use access control. This is like a master of keys who only gives people the keys to the rooms they're actually supposed to be in, and nothing more. And for data theft, we use encryption, which turns our secrets into an unbreakable code.
Let's look at one of those safeguards in action. How do we stop a phishing attack where someone steals your password? We use something called multi-factor authentication. It's not enough to just know the secret password anymore. You also have to have something, like that special code that gets sent to your phone. This two-step process makes it so much harder for an imposter to get in. And here's another powerful example you probably use every single day: encryption. When you buy something from Gigamart or you check your bank account online, your sensitive info isn't just sent as plain text. Nope, it's scrambled into an unreadable secret code. Even if a thief managed to grab it, it would just look like a bunch of gibberish. It's a fundamental defense for pretty much all e-commerce and online banking.
So, we've built our walls, we've trained our guards, and we've created our secret codes. The kingdom of Gigamart is safe forever, right? Well, not quite. See, defending a digital kingdom isn't a one-and-done project. It is a constant, never-ending watch.
So let's recap the big ideas here. First, your data is treasure. You got to treat it that way. Second, know the difference. Threats are the attackers on the outside. Vulnerabilities are the weaknesses on the inside. Third, safeguards like firewalls, authentication, and encryption are your essential tools for defense. And finally, and maybe most importantly, remember that security is an ongoing process. It requires constant vigilance.
You know, we've talked a lot about Gigamart, but all of this applies to you too. Your data, your passwords, your online identity, that's your personal kingdom. So I'll leave you with this one final thought to chew on. Who holds the keys to your kingdom, and are your walls strong enough?